What's going on, YouTube? I am about 3 days late on my regular post. Whew, boy, let's see. It is that time once again. NFL Week 9 picks. You're heading into Week 9. Obviously not. There's already a Thursday night game, which in a game where I picked the Eagles to win that game. The Texans showed signs of life for a moment, and they looked like they may be able to get it done, but ultimately were not. But if you were looking at the week before the Thursday night game, you would know that, of course, the Eagles are rolling. They are a complete football team this year. On this week, you have 6 teams that are on a bye week. Sadly, my Broncos are not playing this week, but they needed the rest. You've got the Broncos, the Browns, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Giants, and the Steelers, all on a bye week. Which leaves 13 games to play. Let's see. Yeah, Thursday night, of course, you had the 8-0 Eagles taking on the 1-6-1, or I'm sorry, not 8-0. I'm looking at this. This was they were 7-0 going into. I put this together to just a minute ago, and I wasn't really paying attention. So you had the 7-0 Eagles facing up against the 1-5-1 Texans in a game where I honestly seen the Eagles just overall mercilessly destroying the Texans. The Texans, like I said, they showed signs of life. It was actually there for the first, bit. It was actually a very competitive game. It went in at halftime tied, and then I got a little, I don't know if it's the weather change, but my nose is but it was competitive, I think, up until halftime, and then the Eagles, they kind of just started to do what the Eagles been doing all season. I think the Eagles are going to end up being the number 1 seed in the NFC. The AFC right now, in the NFC, as far as the 1 and 2 seed teams, I want to say the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will end up number 1 and the Bills will end up number 2. But as of right now, if it were to end today, the Bills would be number 1. And man, I ain't gonna put that out there. I'm gonna try and post aside from these picks. Let me just draw out for just a second. But I'm going to, as the weeks progress, like this week coming up, I'm gonna post an earlier video and talk about the potential playoff picture as it stands right now. As the weeks moving forward, we can start to look at teams that are eliminated, teams that are still in a hunt, because this season is not over. Honest to God, it's not over. You could have 2-6 teams right now who could win out from here on by some fashion, and they could still make the playoffs. That's why the NFL is such a crazy, I just feel like this has been a really kind of an off year. The good teams are not playing good. The bad teams are playing good. There's not a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense about this NFL season. It just doesn't. But anyway, moving forward, as you move into Sunday today, you've got the 3-4-1 Colts versus the 4-4 Patriots. I picked the Colts to win this game. Then you've got the 3-5 Packers and the 1-6 Lions. I'm going to take the Packers, even though the Packers have a lot of problems. I just don't see the Lions beating them. You've got the 4-4 Falcons versus the 4-3 Chargers. I'm going to take the Falcons to win this game. You've got the 6-1 Bills versus the 5-3 Jets. I almost took the Jets to win this game, but I think ultimately the Bills are going to win this game, which a loss for Buffalo would be a huge ordeal for Kansas City, which we'll get to that game here in a second. The 6-1 Vikings versus the 4-4 Commanders. The Vikings should easily win this game. I've been wrong a lot this season. You've got the 4-4 Bengals versus the 2-6 Panthers. Again, I almost picked the Panthers, but maybe, I'm going to go with the Bengals. You've got, so this next game is not a game of great teams by any measure. You've got the 2-5 Raiders versus the 2-6 Jaguars. Both teams struggling, but I'm going to take the Jaguars. You've got the 5-3 Dolphins versus the 3-5 Bears. I'm going to go with the Dolphins in this one. You've got the 5-3 Seahawks versus the 3-5 Cardinals. I went with the Cardinals in this game, and I don't even know why. You've got the 3-4 Rams versus the 3-5 Buccaneers. A lot going on with Tom. A lot going on with Tom. Therefore, I take the Rams to win this game. Then in the highlight game of this week, as I'm looking at it, to me it's a highlight game. You've got the 5-2 Titans versus the 5-2 Chiefs. I think it's going to be a really close game, but I think it could be a high-scoring game. But ultimately, I think the Chiefs take this one home. Then moving on into tomorrow night, you have the you have the 5-3 Ravens and the 3-5 Saints. I don't think the Saints win this game. I think that the Ravens will win in high fashion. But, like I said, I'm going to post a video probably, Tuesday. I'll probably post a video Tuesday talking about the potential playoff picture as it's predicted at that point, because that's after the Monday night game. I don't think we're necessarily at a point where we can start talking about teams that are eliminated, teams that are in the hunt. Because like I said, anybody can flip their season at this point and they could win out. And I know, crazy stuff. But that is my NFL Week 9 picks for this week. And I will see y'all in the next post. But until then, y'all stay safe out there.